Divine greetings, entities, energies, lovelies, bodies of light, the seekers and sojourners of truth. 144, chosen of the chosen few. You know who you are. I greet you as always in the love that lights the truth from my heart to yours. I am Celestial Earth in this divine energy essence of it all, reporting to you live from nowhere than dimension number 5, the real dimension number 5. It's not a location, it is a frequency that we are experiencing as we expand our conscious. So welcome in here, come in, let's all get along. I know that's probably a cliche or corn. Can't we all just get along? Yes, it's unity frequency. So stand up if you in here in 5D with me. With that said, as usual, I bring you the news to infuse, if you so choose to infuse with that light on the light grid. And if not, you can refuse, but be prepared to be fried on the grid. Ashe. With that, let's get into the news that's at hand, which is Mars. Mars making the initiative or taking the initiative, as it takes the initiative with the South Node. So Mars is actually initiating the nodes of faith. And activating, I want to say activating it. That's what it feels like. It's activating what is to be happening with the nodes of faith. And I've been meaning to talk about these nodes. I probably will do a separate video on that because I really want to focus on what the engagement with Mars, and specifically today, the 22nd, Mars conjuncts with the South Node in Virgo. And that is definitely initiating something. That is Mars taking the initiative to help us cut through these everything that we're releasing, and they're both in Virgo. So releasing our holds on criticism, releasing our holds, overthinking, being too meticulous, being a perfectionist. I guess I'm speaking to myself here because I got a whole lot of placements in Virgo, although I'm a Libra at Sun, in the outer world. But I got more placements in Virgo. That's why a lot of you need to learn your natal chart, because you think because you're born in one sign that this is who you are. I'm a Libra, but I'm not that. I just show up as a Libra in the outer world. The sun is my outer world. But all other placements, including my moon, which is the inner world, is definitely Virgo. So I have a lot more Virgo tendencies. I used to think it was because I was, I'm like, Libra's in between Virgo and Scorpio, so I pick up on a lot of Virgo tendencies. And this is before I knew my natal chart. And then if I'm very emotional, I say, I must get that from my Scorpio side. I got a little Scorpio in me because I'm close to the Scorpio border. I'm a third deck in Libra. So it's like, and not knowing I had placements in Scorpio. So when you learn your chart, you'll know why you act the way you do. Anyhow, this is not, like, I digress because this is not that type of video. But please get to know your natal charts. It does do a world of a difference, particularly your sun sign, moon sign, and your north node and your south node, as I'm going to speak about the north node and south node. But your personal north node and south node, I was going to say source, is more intrinsic to you. It's more integral to you. This is the current nodes of faith, which this is for everybody. Our north node is in Pisces and our south node is in Virgo, and it's usually there for about 18 months. It's been there since January. It'll be there till next year, July. And what usually activates the nodes, for those who don't know, is the eclipse. And we have one coming up. The eclipse usually is aligned with wherever the nodes are. Hence why we are going to have the next eclipse is going to be in full moon in Virgo. It's going to be a lunar eclipse. Full moon in, not Virgo, sorry, opposite of Virgo. Lunar eclipse. Bring it back to me. No, we have in the new moon now. Either way, you get what I'm saying. The next ones, they're going to be aligned with Virgo, with the Virgo and Pisces axis. That is what you're going to be experiencing, and the eclipse amplifies everything. For those who know the eclipse, it's amplified energy. It's moon, full moon, or new moon on 10. So it really amplifies what is happening in the opposition or alignment with the sun and moon. And as it particularly relates, it's really activating the nodes of fate, or the nodes of fate are activating it. And what's happening is it's helping all of us. And whatever the nodes of faith are helping us with, I like to say this, it does help you in your evolution with your own particular north and south node. It helps you evolve. And the goal is to we're coming from the south node is where we come from. It's our past lives. And the north node is our trajectory, our northward trajectory, and where it is we're to be going. And how we deal with the past, how we experience the south node helps us to move forward in the, let's say, in the right direction in the north node. It helps to catapult us into where the north node is directing us to be. And so when we deal with the one that's for everybody, the current one, let me call it the current one, the more you work with it, the more you allow it to work with you and help you evolve through coming from the south node in Virgo into the north node in Pisces, the more you work with that, transcend that, evolve through that, the more it helps you to evolve through your own personal north node and south node, if that makes sense. So the goal of what's happening with the south node being in Virgo, as I said, is overthinking, being overly critical, too much overthinking, meticulous, very nitpicky. It's the practical. It's an earth sign, so it's keeping us practical. And it has its good points. It's about being organized and things like that. That's why they're meticulous, because they're very good with organization. But there's a shadow to everything, and we don't want to be in the shadows. What we're to learn from the south nodes is, especially while the nodes of faith are there, is to look into the past of how we've been doing things and look at what we can learn from it, what needs to be released, what needs to cut through, what we need to get rid of that no longer serves us, of how we have been dealing with things collectively in the past. And it could be our right away past, or it could be far back in the past. But this could be past before we were born. But either way, on many levels, we're removing the shadows of Virgo and gaining some insight, finding the balance of what we need, how we can be practical without being a slave to certain things in the earth, so to speak, and missing the point. And it's also about service. Virgo is also about service. So how have we been misusing service or abusing service? Right? Things like, just off the top of my head, things like welfare. Like, people look at things and it's our perspective of service. We look at things and we think, oh, that's a good thing. It's here to help people out. But at the same time, we don't look at how it was also used as a tool to break up Black families, and this is known. A lot of people are aware of this. Just to throw something out there, there's a lot of community service things out there. There's a lot of charity out there that is professing to be for the better good, but it is not. So what is it that is a false service to humanity? And this is what we need to know as we're moving into the age of Aquarian, which is about humanity, humanitarianism. It's about collaboration. It's about the we. And this is part of helping us to strip back the misappropriations of how we have been servicing the we through false services that are not really servicing the good of humanity, but it is actually being used, certain services being used as a disguise to further strip humanity, or to further implement fears within humanity, to further separate and keep separation within humanity. This is a time for us to recognize these things. So, and the more we do that, the more we remove these shadows of Virgo, is the more it's going to help us transcend, ascend, evolve into where we are to go in our north node, where the north node is directing us, which is Pisces, the spiritual house, spirituality, helping us to be better in our spirituality, guided through the balance of it is finding these ways that we can be of service within the means of spirituality, or allowing spirituality to lead the way. The North Node is it's leading us north. It's the northward trajectory. It's where we're supposed to be going. So we're supposed to be headed in more, bringing more spirituality into the earth, into the practicality of earth. So finding the balance is allowing more spirituality to lead the way, in order to take us out of a lot of the dogmatic practices, and the misguided practices, if that makes sense. And this is across the board, from personal to, from intrapersonal to interpersonal, from personal to the collective, from the individual to the collective, from the micro to the macro. It's multiple levels. Think of what I'm saying is definitely not one dimensional. We're in 5D, so I'm speaking multi-dimensionally. So these are all, things that we're looking at. So what Mars is doing right now, to speak on that, is think of Mars as the fireball. It comes with the passion. It is the initiator. It takes initiative. So it is taking the initiative right now during this time of release that we're all feeling, especially with this quarter phase, this last phase of the moon leading up to the new moon, has a lot to do with cleansing and releasing. So it's happening just before the new moon, that is helping us to really release what we need to release and cut free what we need to let go of, specifically in our south node. So with Mars being conjunct with the south node, it's cutting through. It's helping us to cut through those shadows that I mentioned, the shadows of Virgo that have been holding back humanity. And it's us. It's not even just looking at it because it's holding us back. It's for us to look at it in the perspective of it is helping us in further go deeper into the release of what needs to be let go, so that we can step into that new timeline. So it is helping us release those shadows, and right before the eclipse, because we have not just before the new moon, but before the eclipse, which, as I said, the eclipse activates what needs to happen in these nodes. So it's like we're getting a little boost, a little oomph, but it may not feel like it if Mars cutting through the shadows of the south node, if it's not feeling good for you, if it's bringing up certain wounds, it's bringing up certain issues, it's helping to break the illusions and the perspectives. You may want to believe in a type of service. You may want to believe that someone has their best interest for you because they're servicing you, right? I'm not just talking about service as in business services, how others are serving you, how we are serving one another. You may want to believe in someone or some entity or something in some way. Religion, you may want to believe in religion a certain way. You may even want to falsely believe in a spiritual practice in a certain way. And this is to cut through those shadows. And specifically as well with health. I have to speak on that as well, because health has a lot to do with the Virgo, which is why Chiron rules Virgo as well, because it has to do, Chiron is the wounded healer, healing all wounds, and not just physically, mentally, emotionally, but yes, physically, because Virgo is an earth sign and it is more physical. So it's also talking about, it's allowing us to remove the shadows of even how we believe in doctors, how we believe in the medical field. And I'm not saying they're all wrong, but how we believe in them, how we have been believing in the service of them, for those who have. And it's also teaching us to listen to our body. An example of looking at how spirituality can lead the way in that, it is to, when breaking through the shadows, finding the harmony, what that would look like with the body is realizing how you are the physician of yourself, and realizing that healing yourself. And like when people think about getting better, you may hear some people say this, especially with the body and Virgo, and they'll say, oh, this is the time to take care of yourself. And it's not just to take care of yourself, but it's to listen to your body, because the body keeps the score. The body holds all the issues in the tissues of the body. So when you understand this, overstand it, understand it, you realize that it's getting better. It's treating yourself as self-care and treating your body better, not just to be healthy physically, but so that you understand what the body is telling you. That's how you let spirituality lead. When you tap into spirituality, which is what I do with the energy centers, with the chakras, and for those who work with the chakras know what I'm talking about, because it's the doorway to your consciousness. So when you allow spirituality to lead, you realize that when there's something ailing in a certain part of your body, the first thing to do is to lean in and listen to what the body is telling you. So what you could practice today, if you know it's the end of the day, but what you could have practiced and what you can still practice within this window is listening to the body. The body is aching, lean in. Why are you aching, body? What is this part of the body telling me? What part of this body represents a specific part? Which doorway into my consciousness does this speak to? Which means, where in my soul do I need to change something? It's indicating that this is how you let spirit lead the way, and you come out of the dogmatic practices of medicine, and instead, and I mean scientific mankind medicine, because natural medicines are good, and listening to the science explain the anatomy and the body and these. I'm not doing away with that. It's good to understand, overstand, and understand the body, but then to not rely on a dogmatic practice, but instead to allow that body to indicate to you. And that's how you transcend, or evolve through just dogmatic practicality. And that's removing the shadows. So Mars is coming in and giving us that opportunity to break that, and not just the the body, but all unhealed wounds, even mental, emotional. And again, as I said, Chiron rules there, rules Virgo, and Chiron is now in Aries. So it's just now coming out. Well, the sun was, oh yeah, because we just switched into Leo. We also went into Leo today. So we're also now in Leo season. The sun was in Cancer, which means it was squared to Chiron recently as well. So Chiron was even squaring up with where we were, while the sun was in Cancer, bringing up certain things in our ancestral, our family ties and lineage and things like that, because it's helping to bring the issues in the tissues up, especially through the bloodline. And then here we are now, with Mars conjunct with the South Node in Virgo. So what has Chiron brought to you? Because Chiron rules that as well. So where are there any unhealed wounds in the body, the mind, the soul, and so on? So this is really giving us that opportunity, allowing Mars to really help cut through those shadows. It's needed, not just for right now as we're manifesting what we're manifesting in the timeline, but also because of the upcoming eclipse that's going to be amplified, and you get a preview. You're privy right now, for those who are paying attention and who can see what it is. Take this time and keep listening to your body. Even listen to what your body wants to eat, what it doesn't want to eat. Tune in. As I always say, tune in to tune up. So allow Mars to be that fireball that sparks the fire that we need, lighting that fire under us to release, helping us release what we need to release in order to have a true manifestation of this creative energy that we're into. As the sun is now in Leo, we're having all this creative energy, and what's going to help us free us up to create more is the more we release. The more we release, the more we have a flow of light and energy flowing through us, because we are the conduits of light. Ashe. So with that said, and also today is a number day of 2, which reminded me of harmony of duality, and it's the 22nd. So it's 2-2, and when you count up the days, it's a number 2 code. It adds up to 20, which is 2. So I looked at that duality as well, and then as I was in meditation, and I'll share this with you before I go, I did have a little poem, a little something to write that kind of reflected the duality of the transcending of our soul, up and down, whether we're going up from the crown, from the root to the crown, or also coming down from the crown to the root, and kind of just highlighting that exchange and that transcendence of duality, which all works for the good of one. So with that said, I must share this with you all, and then I'll close out. Before I do, please remember to like, subscribe, share, comment if you dare. Leave emojis if you don't feel like you have anything to say. It helps the algorithms and helps those in remote places to find these lighthouses like us. With that, 5D calendars are at a 5D corner near you. You can always email me at akilatextry@gmail.com, as I will do my best to remember to put the link below. And that is that. So here goes the duality. I didn't even know what to call it. I just called it the I am, or transcending time, because that's what it reminds me of. So with that said, let me share my transcending soul travel time with you. I am here to be planted as a cosmic seed, to spring forth now as the risen tree, to shed my leaves throughout the seasons and spread wisdom through the wind with experience as reason, transcending through time to return to one mind as a cosmic design through the infinite nine, from heaven to heaven and exchange in time, from level to level as the soul inclines, from the divine idea that returns through insight as an expression of truth through cosmic delight. My identity shines as I remember the time and allow my sensations to share the information, because I am the God who co-creates this manifestation. I am. I am that I am, as you are that you are. That star. Ashe. So with that said, each one reach one, teach one. If you don't know where to start, start in your big, beautiful heart. Shine your light from the inside out and be the candle that lights the next one and the next one and the next one. Peace, love, and light.